Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new vid of Fox Reacts. Today we're checking out a new vid from Connie X about purifying the Digimon frontier or evil spirits. If you remember before, he did a video of corrupting the main heroes. See, this vid right here. Anyway, let's hop in and see just what these villains became when good.
So in April, when I corrupted the rest of the Digimon Frontier spirits, a lot of you wanted me to do the inverse and purify the evil spirits of steel, wood, earth, and water. So
Wait,
on today's video, we're going to do exactly that.
Yeah, okay.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and yes, we are purifying those evil frontier spirits.
Awesome.
I want to give a huge shout out to Weirdomon, SomeGuy944, HLR Art, and Dry. And if you want more custom art Digimon videos just like this one, please do make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you can. It's a super YouTuber thing to ask, but it legitimately does help the channel and means we can do more of these things, so thanks. Now, to be 100% technical, the evil spirits in Digimon Frontier are not corrupted in the same way the Spirit of Darkness was for Koichi. Instead, these spirits were activated, if you will, with the souls that Cherubimon gathered. As such, an argument could definitely be made that if a human were to spirit evolve for purposes of good with the spirits of steel, wood, earth, and water, they would probably just look the same as Mercurymon, Arbamon, Grottemon, and Ranamon. But for the purposes of this video, I decided it would make sense that if these evil spirits were to spirit evolve with a good-natured heroic child or any human, that would affect the form that they would ultimately become, but not drastically. It wouldn't be the difference between Duskmon and Loemon, but more that the spirits there, so the human spirit of steel, for instance, would still be what caused that form to happen, but it would look different. It would look more heroic or be more humanoid. If we look at pretty much every Digidestined spirit evolution in Frontier, you can see how a human might fit inside that form. But if you look at something like the Beast Spirit Sephirothmon, we're gonna need to change that design up for even a child to fit inside there. This then also gives us another great opportunity, one I personally think we were robbed of with Frontier, and that is to have the redemption arc of those initial bully kids actually getting to assume Digimon forms. As such, I have paired them off based on their name etymologies, as I believe those etymologies may act as a clue to perhaps Frontier even intending them to become the evil spirits in an original draft. The bespectacled Tepe will be paired with Steel, his name meaning iron, sage, soldier, and wise man, which, matches up perfectly with the spirit descendant of ancient wise Mon. Chiaki's name can mean thousand, but also light, sparkle, clear, shining, and crystal ball. Plus, she's the girl of the group, and Digimon can be quite predictable in that aspect, so she will get the water spirit. Katsuharu's name can mean victory or win, but also meadow, field, or plain, places where you might find grass, plants, even trees, so he gets the spirit of wood. And then Teruo gets left with earth because he's the last one. So let's begin with Tepe, who I commissioned Weirdomon to create heroic spirit evolutions for. Tepe, as the human spirit of steel, becomes Futuremon. This Robocop and Terminator design from Weirdomon is badass, and does the core conceit of this video, taking the elements of the original spirits but reinterpreting them for these new heroic forms, even giving us glimpses of the human underneath, just like in Agunimon or Kazemon. Futuremon gets its name from both its design inspirations, the Terminator and Robocop, being futuristic robots, but also the idea of future sight, being able to predict the future, perhaps by using something like a scrying mirror. It also wields a shotgun, because eat cold steel? Then Tepe's beast form is Kabamon. This of course comes from the beast spirit of steel, and as such we can see the many eyes of Sephirothmon, its mouth, and more represented here. Sephirothmon
we're back.
Ties into the idea of the Kabbalah, aka the Tree of Life. So Kabamon continues that idea in Unity. However, as this is a beast, it cannot fully shake off the dark side of the Spirit of Steel's nature. As such, Weirdomon took inspiration from typical goat imagery in Judeo-Christian mythology, in which a goat or scapegoat is tied heavily to the idea of sin, and even Baphomet. However, despite the unfavorable leaning in scripture towards the goat, it also represents strong-mindedness, singleness of purpose, and leadership, rather than following, which might make Tepe the surprising leader of this team. Oh,
Yeah,
but you know
okay,
I couldn't
I can see
just do
that.
human and beast spirits for this video. I had to fully commit and full send.
Surprise!
Well, here we go.
Shawty!
We're also giving all of these human and beast spirit purifications their own hybrid fusion
All
form,
right.
just like Aldamon and
This
Beowulfmon.
actually
We did
could
also
be
consider
cool.
the Z spirits and like a Susanamon alternative, but that adds a lot
Nice.
of interesting lore complications that we'll think about for a future
Unfortunately,
video.
yeah.
So, the fusion
another
spirit
time,
of
another
steel
time.
is Taliesimon. This
Ooh.
futuristic musician shreds out on its goat axe to
Hold on, look at this. It's got Wisemon as the tip of the guitar. That's actually awesome.
entertain its friends and strike fear into the heart of its foes. Of course, the steel strings of the electric guitar are a factor
Nice.
here, but we also get to combine that cool robotic imagery with the goat and satanic vibes to create a true rock star. Taliesimon
is
gets its name from
awesome.
Taliesin, the chief of bards in Celtic mythology, who was a real person, though truth and myth have become interwoven. He was renowned for his music and
Amazing.
his wisdom, a great fit for the part spirit, part human Tepe steel fusion. I decided to use Celtic
I
mythology
like
for the
it.
name because it helps tie in some of that old goat imagery, as the Celts viewed them
Oh,
as
yeah.
symbols of fertility and virility, but also because Aldamon's name comes from
Ooh.
Indian mythology, Beowulfmon's name comes from Anglo-Saxon mythology, so I wanted to represent
okay.
another pantheon. Moving over to Katsuharu, I commissioned
here we
some
are.
guy 944 to give him the human spirit of wood, spirit evolution, Atismon. I love the
Ooh.
transformation to a more humanoid appearance
Look at
here,
that.
keeping the core elements of the spirit, but making it a
giant
wholly
cannons.
new form. Atismon gains 2 big bazookas it can use to fire out huge seeds at terrifying speeds. A much more
Awesome.
humanoid face with a large dome hat, which you can see is adapted from Arbamon, and
Oh,
is
yeah,
even adorned
totally.
with the spirit of wood symbol. It gets its name from Attis, a Greek and Roman figure revered as a vegetation deity, tied
Not
into the
bad.
concept of death and resurrection, similar to how the fruits of the earth die in the winter
This
and
is
rise
actually
again
really
in
cool.
spring.
I
I
like
chose a
this a lot.
Roman figure because the word Arbor has Roman origin. Another reason I
Ah.
picked Attis was the fact in the Metamorphoses, no, not that one, by
Oh.
the Roman poet Ovid.
I don't even
Attis
know the
turned from a
reference, but I
human
know the
into a
reference.
pine tree, which feels very appropriate for
Oh.
Katsuharu becoming the human wood spirit.
Alright.
Then moving over to the beast spirit of wood is Vindramon. This of course is very
Ooh.
close to Petaldramon, but I wanted to ensure it felt
I
more
like
humanoid.
this.
Of course it's a beast spirit, but again folding in the believability that a human could be inside of these forms makes
Yeah,
the
I
premise
can
of this
see
video
it.
work better. I settled on the name Vindramon because of the prominent vines and roots of the design, but also if we consider the human spirit fusion to be stronger than the way the evil spirits
Oh,
manifested in Frontier, then you could consider a set of thick, sprawling vines and roots to
Yeah.
be stronger and more powerful than petals. And
Yeah.
their hybrid fusion is Sylvanusmon,
Oh,
an excellent
look at
fusion of
that.
the two designs, having the erupting vines and roots of Vindramon, but with the body and armor of Atismon.
The hat
Sylvanusmon now
became a
uses the
shield.
helmet it had as Atismon as a shield, and strikes out with a powerfully sharp, barbed vine. Sylvanusmon
is
gets its name from
awesome.
Sylvanus, the Roman deity of woods and uncultivated lands, and a protector of the forest.
Very
and hey, if
clever,
you're a big
guys.
fan of Digimon Frontier, I am sure you are looking to get yourself some Digimon Frontier merch. And that is where today's sign up with Bai. So go on, go get yourself some Digimon goods with Bai and get that 2,000 yen coupon when you sign up with my link in the description.
Yes,
Thank you.
bye. They're all good. Ah, damn it. Now it's got to load. I'll be back in a moment. Alright, we're back.
To Bai for sponsoring this video and enabling me to commission these wonderful artists. Then is Teruo and
Ooh,
the
here we
Spirit
go.
of Earth, which he utilizes to become Silicamon designed by
Ooh.
HLR Art. HLR was inspired by the progression of rock and minerals,
I
and so
like
began with
this.
Silicamon getting its name from, of course, silica, which is naturally quartz and a major constituent of sand. As
Nice.
Grotemon is normally more of a goblin or dwarf-sized body, I
yeah.
love how HLR infused the human element to create this warrior body, but you can
Nice.
still see the entirety of the spirit in there. I especially like how
Completely.
HLR turned the hat into a torso and shorts piece. Silicamon
Nice.
carries a huge sword made of quartz it uses to battle evil. Then
actually
the
a really
beast
nice
spirit
idea.
of Earth is Nicemon. HLR
Oh.
once again of course took the spirit that normally leads to Gigasmon but built upon the design,
Gigas.
viewing the beast spirits
Nice.
as overpowered and wild but still having that human at the core in this instance. Nicemon gets its name from gneiss, a type of metaphoric rock. Nice. Just
nice.
like I'm I'm constantly making a
nice,
69
nice.
joke. Which could perhaps be viewed as the warrior Silicamon after undergoing immense pressure and given access to the uncontrollable power of the beast spirit of Earth.
I like how it's
This
kind of got a
pressure,
half
both
mask
literal and
going on.
metaphorical, allowing diamonds to begin forming on the surface of the beast. And then the compromise, the fusion of the human and the beast, turning that pressure from overwhelming and uncontrollable to stabilized and managed, becoming Adamantimon, with the ferocious strength of Nicemon and the warrior's spirit of Silicamon. This hybrid fusion is a fearsome combatant. Now fully in control of its own strength, and adorned with diamonds it can now use as weapons and to dazzle its opponents. Adamantimon, of course, gets its name from adamant or adamantine, a generic name for a very hard material, but also the word adamant, refusing to be persuaded or to change one's mind, which correlates to the steadfast mindset of Adamantimon.
And we're back and on to the final spirit, water.
Finally is Chiaki, whose spirit evolves with the human spirit of water to become Spellmon, drawn by Dry. Dry based the design on apprentice witches, still learning the basics of fortune telling and clairvoyant magic, as well as elemental control of water. Her big skirt, dress, and hood are a total opposite of Ranamon's skin-tight revealing outfit. I chose the name Spellmon, of course, to reference its witch and clairvoyant design, but also from the term a spell of rain, or indeed the inverse, a dry spell. Moving over to the beast spirit is Cephalomon. Dry felt like giving this Digimon a squid head was the only logical step, as Calamarimon itself subverted expectations by having the prominent squid head of the spirit become the underside of its form. So Dry reeled it back and put the squid parts in the correct places, but still wanted to keep the humanoid elements present, like with Calamarimon and the overall philosophy of this video, and instead got inspired by the wind spirit line, which remains humanoid but with more beastly features. Cephalomon gets its name from cephalopods, the group of animals that the squid belongs to. Interestingly, octopuses are also cephalopods, and there was a pretty famous, supposedly psychic octopus called Paul that was used to reportedly predict 2010 World Cup winners. This psychic cephalopod, of course, tying back to the design inspiration of Spellmon. And finally is their hybrid fusion, the culmination of both cephalopod and sea witch forms, feeling like a more powerful version of both, which I have dubbed Bruchemon. Dry tried to use elements from both forms, but in a new way. The pearl motif symbolized purity crystallized, as well as keeping the water theme. I chose the name Bruchemon coming from the Catalan word bruxeria, aka witchcraft, as Ranamon's name is Spanish in origin. According to one Catalan tradition, a person who wants to become a witch should go to the seashore, undress completely, and roll around on the sand. So those are our purified Digimon Frontier evil spirits and their hybrid.
Out of all of these, I have to say that the wood line is definitely my favorite, but Nicemon and the Goat Heel definitely get second place each.
Fusions. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and please do go show those artists some love on their social medias, which are in the description down below. Thank you to my Sovereign ZDK14, as well as my Digidestin, Tamers, Khan Club, and Twitch sub. Also make sure to go check out the Digimon Frontier Corrupted Spirits video I did back in April. That is going to be below me. Love making that video. Hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you next time when we go digital.
Alright, and with that, that's where we're going to leave off today's video. So, I want y'all to remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Down in the description will be a link to the original video, so remember to support Khan and everything he does. And I'll see all of you folks in the next video. Peace.